Here, so, all right. Pretty good. What do you got for me? Do we have all the blue on again today? No.
Hey, Riz, what was Eric's progress this week?
Eric? Yeah, it looks like Eric's going to be a go. Should be good to go. You know, we kind of thought we did the right thing here the last couple weeks with his kind of his volume in practice. Amped it up a little bit every day. He looks like he's ready to go. So unless we have a setback between now and Sunday, I would imagine he'll be in there.
Nephi Sewell, do you think he will be activated? Or
One more time. Nephi also. You know, we're going to make a decision here with the actual actives and inactives and call-ups and all that. I think Nephi is part of that equation, but he's ready to go physically. Had 3 really good weeks of practice, I thought, in my opinion. Looked really good this week. And so, I think Nephi is ready to go. It's just a matter of whether or not we're going to bring him to the game or not yet.
But will he be added back to the active roster?
I believe he will be. We'll kind of, again, we're going to make those decisions here, but everything's pointing to that'll happen, yeah.
This might be a weird question. I might not be asking it right, but like, as a culture builder and kind of taking over midseason, does it feel fully like it's going in exactly how you would run it, or is there's some like cleanup and like change over? Does that take a little bit of time for it to take like full effect for it to be like exactly kind of how you want it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you take anything in a midstream type of situation, it's not going to be exactly exactly the way you want it to go, but that was probably the most impressive part about last week, is that with the number of things that we did change, is I thought it would probably go maybe a little bit, I don't know, for lack of a better word, rougher, but and I'm not even talking about the result of the game. I'm talking about just like the daily routine. But for me to sit here and say that everything's exactly 100%, no, because there wasn't enough time to kind of prep it like that. With that being said, I mean, you guys know we did make a significant amount of change, and so with that being said, I thought a lot of things are kind of like I mentioned the other day about the formula, kind of changing things around, and so it's a pretty good amount.
So it's like, would it be fair to say there's like a fair amount of cleanup along with you kind of building what you want to do? Like there's a little bit.
Yeah, like you said, I don't know if cleanup's the right word. I think that there's certainly some things that we're going to continue to add and delete, just like anything else. But I don't know if cleanup's the right word. I think we've got to clean up our play on the field. That's got to get cleaned up. But as far as like the peripheral stuff, we'll continue to add and delete as we go.
Pete Werner had like a massive club on his hand. Did he practice with that, or how did that go?
He did. He was a limited participant today. That's literally going to be a day-to-day thing. We're going to see how he responds tomorrow. That might be right up to the game decision. If I think I said the other day, Pete wants to play, and if he's physically able to play, and it's not going to do any more damage or anything like that to his current situation. So we're just going to literally take that right until we can. So
I know in Willie's case he had surgery. Did Pete have surgery at all on his hand, or is that...
Yeah, I don't want to get into all that. He's just dealing with a hand thing, and I don't want to go really through the specifics of it. You guys are taking it easy. No Week 10 update on the kickoff, huh?
I'll take it, man. You got it ready. You got it ready.
Oh, it's Week 11. I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. 10 games in, Week 11 update. Now, the best thing I heard so far, and I haven't seen the tangible numbers, but from what we're hearing from the right sources, is that the injury numbers through 10 weeks are really trending in the right direction. I mentioned that it looked like that early on, but looks like they're even better than we imagined. And so, the rates continue to be right around what they were. We're just about double the return rate from last year, number of returns. You've seen a number of big plays. I think as the year's gone on, guys are starting to figure out the return schemes a little bit more. So like in the last few weeks, there's maybe been a few, bigger plays. So maybe that those start drive numbers have ticked up just a little bit. But all in all, I think we got to, I think if you had given me these results through 10 weeks, when we first started this deal, it's been a real big success so far. So very, very pleased with the way it's going. And we'll obviously tinker some things at the end of the year, but so far so good and all that. So. And I mentioned to you guys, the punt numbers are a little bit down, the field goal numbers are a little bit up, scoring's a little bit up, and so I think it's there's an overall positive effect for the entire game, which I think is a great deal. So we'll see how it finishes up. I do believe that we're going to spike up here a little bit at the end of the year with the cold weather games, and The return rates will go up. I don't think it's going to be dramatically, but I think it won't decrease in my opinion. It'll only go up slightly. So all positive. Nothing negative to report.
What are you guys looking to see from Mason Tipton over the next 7 games with kind of this opportunity he has?
Yeah, I mean, listen, with all those young receivers, Mason included, it's a work in progress because he kind of got here's an undrafted rookie who missed a lot of time in preseason with an injury, so he really didn't have a whole lot of preseason games and reps. So I just really want to see the constant improvement. Here's a really bright guy with really good hands. It's the nuances of the game at the receiver position you want to just continue to get better at. The blocking, the route running. He hasn't had a ton of targets, so it's not really fair to put that on him. But it's been more of a game plan decision type of thing. But I think the player has a really bright future, and so again, he does all the little things right. You see this guy out here all the time, before practice, after practice, working with the quarterbacks, working on timing. So I think he's got a real bright future.
Going back to what Nick was asking about, like the culture, when you interviewed for this job in 22, like how much of what you have on the field now, or like the setup of practice and stuff, is the presentation that you gave to Mickey and them?
I think there's bits and pieces, of the way we're doing it. Like I just said earlier, it's hard to incorporate everything in the middle of a season. You're not going to, as much as I wanted to make things a little different, the wholesale changes are hard, because that takes time, and we didn't have enough time. We only had a few days. And so, but, some of the stuff we had talked about back then is just, there's definitely bits and pieces of it, but it's not everything.
And part of that process is like having probably like coaches. What is it like kind of working with the coaching? I know you knew most of these coaches from your old role, but like, what is it like kind of working with just the coaching staff that?
Yeah, that's been cool. I mean, listen, as a special teams coach, you're dealing with everybody, all the players and all the coaches. But now to have a little bit, obviously, more interaction, particularly with the coordinators, talking about how we're going to play the game out, how the game's going to, be played, the game plan stuff. So I wasn't obviously in as detailed that part of it. So, but listen, I as much as I praised the players last week, I got to praise the coaches too, because there was complete buy-in from that group as well. Because again, that's an easy thing to do. Is all of a sudden the head coach is gone, and now guys got their eye out the door and their next job and all that. I haven't felt any of that whatsoever. I felt complete buy-in by the staff too. So that's been pretty cool.
Rizzi, you gonna let Jahri Evans stay out at halftime, or he's got to come coach?
I'm gonna tell you, he's a Saints legend, so he can do whatever he wants. Hopefully Jahri is. It's a great honor for him. Really, really happy for him. I remember back when he was a college player, a Division II college player, because I told you I cut my teeth in coaching in Division II at the University of New Haven, and so we used to play Bloomsburg all the time. So I'm a big Northeast D2 guy, and so to see what he's done and what he's able to accomplish from starting at that level is really, really impressive. So I'm going to let Jahri enjoy his day. He can stay out.
You try to get him to New Haven at all? Or?
Did I try to get him?
Yeah.
Listen, he was all those Division II schools in that area, in that Northeast, were definitely recruiting. I wasn't firsthand, but I remember he made an impact from day one. So he would definitely be one of those NIL guys. Today, forget it. They would saw him start as a freshman, and forget it. He would have been playing for up there somewhere, Pittsburgh, Penn State, one of those big Northeast schools. He would have been an NIL guy. Transfer portal. Anyway,
what has he meant
happy for him.
Coaching those guys this year? Like, what's he meant to those guys?
Yeah, listen, the best thing Jahri can bring to the table is his experience, and so we have obviously some younger, less experienced players there, and I think that's the hands-on is what Jahri's best at. You see him on the field, you see him working with the guys. Here's a guy that's been in the fire. It's a little bit different when you have that experience, and not only that, he played at such a high level, so he could throw some film on and say, this is how I did this or we did this. And so there's, he's got that certain credibility immediately with some of the guys because of the success that he enjoyed. But it's such a great guy having around. He's such a positive influence. He walks in the building every day. He's always in a good mood. Always has a good attitude. I joke around when you walk in the side door every day. You have the choice to be Eeyore or Tigger. He's Tigger every day. So that's a choice that you make. So. And so I appreciate that. And so my office is right next to his, so I have a lot of interaction with him every day. He's just a pleasure to be around, and we're happy and proud to have him, and we're proud of his success.
You put any Rhode Island tape on for people?
No, we don't want to put, especially the blocking part, the pass catching part, maybe not the blocking part.
I had to ask since you brought it up. Do you have any strong New Haven pizza takes?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of strong Northeast pizza takes, but now New Haven pizza, obviously Sally's and Pepe's, everybody knows them. But there's a couple of great ones up there. Modern Pizza, if you've ever been in that area, is really, really good. But people ask me when I go to New Haven, where should I go for pizza? And I'd say, honestly, you could go anywhere because every single place is good. Same thing where I'm from in North Jersey. People say, we're in New York City or New Jersey, should I go for pizza? I'm like, any place at all, just pull in and you'll enjoy it. Same thing with the bagels and the pizza.
Correct.
Can't go wrong. So anyhow.
Just curious, do blocking structures change with a guy like Eric McCoy coming back? What does he bring as far as like, do schemes change and stuff like that, or is it just
well,
the same?
you know, you certainly can get more creative with a guy like Eric because there's so much he can do. He has very few limitations, and so when you bring in a backup at any position, you may try to simplify some things and not get as complicated. What Eric allows you to do is open up the whole playbook. You know, there's really nothing that the offensive line can't do with him in there. And so, without getting too detailed, you know, there's really, you know, we're not handcuffed or we're not, you know, hamstrung into anything that we can't do. And so, it opens up everything because, you know, in my opinion, he's got no limitations as a center.
Thank you.
Good guys, appreciate it.
If we go to New York next month, I get a slice from Sabara. I'm going to let you know.